Toyota built a factory rule that sounds painfully expensive. When an abnormality appears, signal for help, and if it cannot be fixed in the work zone, stop the line. The red andon is not a panic button. It is a promise that trouble will not be quietly passed downstream. Toyota calls the larger principle jidoka, and the company's own production guide places it beside, not inside, just in time. One protects flow, the other protects whether that flow is healthy. The idea began before Toyota made cars. In 1897, Sakichi Toyoda's power looms stopped when the weft thread broke or ran out. Without that halt, the machine could keep weaving damaged cloth. The invention was not simply automation. It was a machine able to notice an abnormal condition and refuse to continue. Toyota's history identifies those devices as the origin of jidoka. That distinction matters because just-in-time gets most of the attention. Toyota describes JID as moving only what is needed, when needed, in the amount needed. It is a rule for timing, quantity, and flow. JID is the built-in test. Can this task continue without sending an abnormality forward? Calling both ideas lean misses the mechanism. A fast river still needs a gate when the water turns red. Popular retellings flatten what happens next. Pulling an andon cord does not always halt the factory instantly. Stephen Spear's Toyota field study found that the first pull signaled a team leader, while the line kept moving. If the problem remained at a fixed position, the line stopped. Toyota's history records stopped linked to andons in 1955 and fixed position stopping in 1971. First expose. Then help. Then stop if necessary. Watch a simplified line. One station detects a bad fastening condition. If ignored, downstream steps add labor to a product that may need correction. This is a systems illustration, not a measured Toyota defect count. Jidoka changes the decision point. It asks the process to pause near the place and moment where the gap appeared, while the evidence is fresh and the people closest to the work can examine it. A stop signal works only if normal work is visible. Spear describes Toyota-managed work as specified in content, sequence, timing, location, and expected outcome. The standard does not make humans robots. It creates a reference. When actual work departs from expected work, the gap becomes diagnosable. Andon is therefore an interface between a known expectation, a detected mismatch, and a defined path for assistance. Inventory changes what the factory can see. A buffer can keep the next station busy when upstream goes wrong. That resilience can be useful, Toyota says. JIT keeps a minimum necessary stock, not literally zero, but a buffer also delays when a mismatch reaches the next process. In our diagram, shrinking it reveals the red condition sooner while leaving less recovery time. This is a trade-off, not proof that every item is waste. Stopping matters only when it triggers disciplined response. A leader reaches the station, contains the problem, and compares expected conditions with what happened. Spear found built-in tests most valuable when each signal was followed quickly by root cause analysis and structured problem solving. Resume without learning, and the red light can return. The asset is not downtime. It is a shorter distance between failure, evidence, and correction. That makes on a social system, not just hardware. A longitudinal study at NUMMI, Toyota's California joint venture, reported workers were encouraged to signal problems and stop the line if necessary. The study tied broader flexibility to training, trust, and leadership. A cord without rapid help becomes theater. A cord that punishes the person pulling it teaches silence. The button matters because the organization behind it must respond. None of this makes Toyota unstoppable, and no primary source proves one rule caused its performance. Stops cost time. False alarms disrupt flow. Weak standards create noise. Too little inventory can make shocks harder to absorb. jidoka works with JIT, standardized work, trained leaders, maintenance, suppliers, and repeated improvement. Copy only the cord, and you copy the photogenic artifact, not the discipline giving the signal meaning. So why let a worker interrupt an expensive line? Because motion is not progress. Just in time keeps the right work moving. Jidoka lets machines and people say the work should not move yet. Andon turns a hidden abnormality into a public request for help close to where it began. Toyoda's rule is not stop for stopping's sake, it is stop long enough to protect the process worth restarting.